But Narcity's coming in for the drama. I'm here for it.
Woo, you're making me sweat here.
So how are you guys today? Are you I'm sure it must be so exciting with the movie and everything coming out in a week.
So
good.
So fun to talk about it again.
Did you have a favorite scene to shoot during the movie?
Oh, car keys. Ashley and I love a bit. And Jeff and Daphne, who write the show, the original show, this movie, they give us amazing dialogue. And then Ashley and I try and figure out, okay, what can we add to this physically? We love some physical humor. And there's this thing where we're searching for the kids, and the cops tell us, the cops are looking for the kids because they're missing, and they tell us to stay put. And I say to Casey, I'm like, we doing that? And she says, no way. And then she just takes up for the car and says keys. And I was like, I'll throw the keys to you. And we had this bit and we just tried it. Neither of us are hand-eye coordination people. But when we're in the mode, it works. And I whip the keys at her as we rehearse this. She grabs them like, great, let's do this. We're all ready to do it. We lose the light. We can't shoot the scene. We have to come back to it and do it in the studio, in the house. And it was really hard to throw the keys.
Really hard to catch as well. Something about keys.
And they tried to cut it. And then I think that they cut it. And we did it a couple times without it. We were doing one more take. We're like, let's just do the keys. And we did it and we nailed it. And the keys made it into the cut. So that was a good.
When you see that scene though, I think you can see the nerves in my eyes because I'm like, I'm going to turn around and walk away and he's going to throw it. And it might hit me in the head, but I also might catch it. And so it was a little stressful. But let me tell you, when those keys hit my hand and I strutted out of the house, I felt like $1 million.
Oh, I bet.
Now, it was totally valid that Ashley felt like the keys might hit her in the head because in one of the rehearsals, I threw them really hard and they did hit her in the back of the head. So
it's back. No, it didn't matter.
You got thick hair.
Yeah, exactly. There's also one other scene that I really loved. It's a bit of a water scene. Casey has a bit of an accident and
it sounds a bit different.
Her water did not break and she didn't have that kind of an accident, but Casey was trying to juggle a lot of balls and one kind of fell and made a big accident in this new farmhouse. So she's trying to fix it. And, of course, Cool Derek comes in to make fun of her a bit. And it was like such a fun scene to film, slipping around in water. And it was very reminiscent of like the bathroom scene in the original Life of Derek, where Derek and Casey have a fight in the bathroom. It's wet and everything. So anyway, it was just like another full circle moment.
We noticed that 2 of your former co-stars said they were not invited to Life of Derek, to Life of Luca. So why do you think that was?
I don't think it's a why they weren't invited. Listen, there's 90 minutes to make a movie, and we have to introduce 4 new characters who are leads of the movie. The 4 new kids have just as much camera time as we do. There was the crux of we're at George and Nora's house, and they have this amazing storyline of them trying to find us, which in my opinion is the funniest part of the movie. And so we just came down to time. I believe there was a draft where there was a moment where we were going to see everybody, but it was in a scene where there was literally 14 characters, and it just got so complicated that it's the classic term of you have to kill your darlings, right? Like, I'm sure everybody would have loved to have everybody back together again, but on the page, there just wasn't enough space to have everybody back together.
To have them back to say one line just wouldn't have been right for their characters. They deserve more screen time if they're back. So Mike's right. There was a new set of kids to follow around. So we're passing the torch.
But Narcity's coming in for the drama. I'm here for it.
Woo, you're making me sweat here.
Speaking of back in the day, so viewers definitely sense a little chemistry between the 2 step siblings. And I was curious to know if it was intentional.
Shows that work, that become popular, you need to have great chemistry between your actors. And I think that's the thing that like Ashley and I have always had in spades is we are each other's, we were just saying this in another interview, so I can say this on Ashley's behalf. We're each other's favorite people to do a scene with. Like we have so much fun. The energy is like electric, and it's just like, it's so good. So I understand that people really enjoy watching us together on screen.
It's really just natural with us. Like he and I, we are such close friends also outside of the show, but there's just, as Mike said, it's a chemistry that you can't fake, you can't write it. It's just something we have. And it's very nice that everybody else seems to, pick up on that as well. And we just have a really great friendship.
Like I remember going way back when we were originally cast in this show and we were doing chemistry reads, and on paper, Derek is the cool slacker guy that he was, but on paper, Casey was supposed to be this like Dara-esque, thick black frame glasses, and everything was supposed to be deadpan. And there was 2 or 3 other girls doing that bit. And Ashley, I think, just probably through the casting thing, they kept being like, but she's so funny. And Ashley just didn't do that. And her and I were in the waiting room, and I was like, I think we're the best together. Like, let's focus on us. When we're not in the room and they're testing other people, let's just keep rehearsing. Because the energy was always just there. And then talking to the producers afterwards, they were like, yeah, that we didn't write Casey to be what Ashley did. But Ashley took the character and said, I've got something to show you. And the 2 of us together just, it worked.
Ashley, so you've even tweeted your support for Daisy a couple years ago. Do you still go down with that shit? Hey, it's online.
We love the fans. We love the fans loving the show.
It's it's the movement of like the Life with Derek fandom. And it's just that we just appreciate, and whatever that show means, it means something different to everybody, and so whatever that is, I go down with it.
And I'm curious to know the dynamic between Casey and Derek as parents in the movie. Like for you guys, how did it feel? Like, how did you kind of manage that dynamic?
It was something we talked about beforehand. Like, we knew how to do Derek and Casey so well. But how do you do that 15 years later with kids? And what qualities of the character do you keep? Which qualities have evolved? So it was a little weird and stressful figuring out what that was going to be. And the more I thought of it, the more stressed out I got. So I just stopped thinking about it. And I got to set with Micheal, and I thought, well, we're just going to see what happens, because I just love to see what happens sometimes. And with him, I never know what we're going to get into, where the scene will go, but I just know it's going to be good. It's fun, and I just know we're going to have fun with it. And that's when we do our best work. And the first scene that we did is a scene where, of course, we're getting at each other about something. Casey's really riled up, and she grabs him, pushes him over a car, and is yelling in his face. And it just was so natural. And it was like, this is it. This is where they are right now. I didn't have to think about it. I shouldn't have stressed about it, because that's who I am as well. I'm a mom. I've evolved, but I'm still a little kooky and controlling, and I have these traits too. Like, a person doesn't change too much, So it's like it's a more interesting dynamic, because we have to rely on each other as well as butting heads with each other.
And the kids were so much fun also to see like your dynamic with all of them, and just like how their personality kind of like go together with also from the past a bit, from like the past characters. So it was really fun to see.
It was really cool and different to see how they were going to like approach this relationship with each other. And it's so different than Derek and Casey, but so fun. And like, they left me wanting more, like what's going to happen between these two. And I think that's like the beauty of it.
So you said what's going to happen between these two. Like, do you think there would be like maybe like a continuation of the movie, like something else?
All I can say is we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like that. I like that very much. So I know the movie was shot in Ontario, and I was curious to know what were your favorite spots to shoot in the province.
We shot most of it in studio, but it was interesting to we had this big farmhouse on a beautiful property that was like a lavender farm, which was like lovely and smelled nice. And like out in the small town you're there. And I guess what was fun about that is the entire original series was all in studio. We never went on location. So it was sort of fun to be out in the world and like breathe fresh air.
Yeah. And also, I always loved filming in Toronto, obviously. But we filmed Vacation with Derek the movie in Algonquin Park. And that was a really, really cool experience. We were like staying in these cabins and it was just like super fun. So as Mike said, we don't get to get outdoors much because you're oftentimes in the studio. So when we do, we're like,
what are you hoping your audience, like the audience back in the day, like with Life with Derek, what are you hoping like the feelings that they will get with the new movie?
I think they will feel nostalgic. I think they will feel excited to see where their lives have gone because really they've grown up with us, you know? And I think Family Day is the perfect day for the movie to come out because it's one of those feel-good movies that I really think they're going to enjoy. They're going to laugh, they might cry, I think they're going to feel all sorts of incredible things when they see it.
Whenever something you love like comes back, whether it's a new season or a reboot, where it's like, oh, I get more? That's my hope.
Well, we were also excited to see that there was a reboot, and I'm sure everybody is going to be very, very excited to see it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Again, like I appreciate it so much, and it was so great speaking with you. And I wish you all the best, honestly. And I cannot wait for everybody to see the new movie.
Oh,
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more great content.